Hello everyone, I am the Squeaking Lion, and today we are going to be going over some tips and tricks for Potion Craft Alchemist Simulator. These tips and tricks are going to be accurate as of February 15th, 2021, and are for the Potion Craft Alchemist Simulator demo. There will be future updates, of course, and once those future updates happen, I cannot guarantee that this will continue to be accurate. However, as of this date, they are. So let's go ahead and go over some of these tips, and let's see if we can't improve your game. Now, one of the first things that I want to go over is that there is hidden experience in this game. A lot of people don't realize that it's hidden. In fact, it's kind of right in front of their face, but it's not really mentioned in the game, and it's not very obvious. So what you want to do is you want to come over here to this book here, and this is the Alchemist's Path. Now, as you can see, there are a bunch of tasks here that need to be completed. Now, I've already completed these tasks, as you can see here. Once you've taken the task and you've completed them, they are grayed out. And as you can see over here, that there are tasks that I have completed but not yet clicked on, and then there are tasks here that have not been completed and you can't do anything with. Now, what a lot of people don't realize is that the experience that you get for completing a quest is not actually accepted here until you click on the task itself, and then you gain the experience. Until you actually click on the item itself, you do not gain the experience. So, just so you know, you have some hidden experience that may not be immediately obvious. Haggling in this game can be difficult to understand and really quite a hassle. So let's go over it step by step, and at the end of explaining the haggling, I'm going to show you a little tip that makes it easier and a little less stressful. So first of all, let's start with starting the haggle itself. Now if you click the haggle, and if I were to start the haggle here, it would begin doing the haggle itself. Now, you are not under any time constraints. You can let this thing bounce back and forth as you plan your attack here. Let's start with what are you looking at in terms of the haggle benefits. Potentially, right here, you could gain 5. Now, it's only 5 for this deal. If you have a bigger deal, like, for example, if this were 100, this would be a much larger number. But it's always going to be equally bad. So if it's plus 5 on this side, it's going to be negative 5 on this side. If it's plus 20, it's going to be negative 20. So bear that in mind. You have the potential to make a lot of money, but you also have the potential to lose an equally large amount of money. Secondly, you are on a time limit here. The minute I hit this haggle, the deal immediately starts getting worse. Worse and worse and worse. It's going to tilt against your favor the entire time. And the only thing that puts it back into your favor is by clicking these icons. And what's worse is that as time goes on, these icons get smaller, smaller and smaller and smaller until all the icons that pop up look like this. And worse, as you can see, they don't just shrink, they get harder and harder to hit. They start disintegrating, there starts being fewer of them and much more further on. So the longer your haggle goes, the worse your deal is going to be. What you want is a single pass. Once you click this haggle button, you want to start haggling when this is optimized. So let's say, for example, what would be a good way to be able to optimize this? Well, as you can see, there's this big opening over here. And there's like another opening over here. So chances are, if I were to click right now and one of these were to start, then whenever we click one of these, another one pops up. It could be 1, it could be 2. Of course, the longer it goes, the fewer that becomes. Sometimes you'll click on it and nothing will pop up. But if if you're going to have more yellow icons pop up, you want them to be in your path, correct? So if I were to say start over here and I started the haggle right here, then I could go click, 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 and maybe I'll get a marker come up here, but chances are the markers will pop up behind me over here. And we only want one pass, right? We don't want to go to, we don't want 2 passes, 3 passes, 4 passes. We don't want that. We actually only want 1. Because again, the longer the haggle, the worse it gets. So what you want to do is optimize your chances. You want to start to haggle, in this particular case, you would want to start to haggle with all of them close to each other like this. And that way, if you were to click these, chances are it's either going to show up here or it possibly might show up here. But there's a really good possibility that as you click, 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 that there will be more icons popping up over here. And if you have the opportunity to be able to click on that icon, you might be able to improve the deal even more. But no matter what, don't go more than maybe 1, possibly a second pass. If you just happen to make a mistake and you click on this by accident, you missed the click on this by accident, you can do a second pass, but just bear in mind it keeps getting worse the more passes you take, so don't do too many. So, boom, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, done. As you can see, I did get a small profit, and I didn't make the mistake of going too long, because if I had gone too long, like I said, it would have been worse and worse and worse, and I would have ended up just getting just a terrible setup. I don't know. All I can say is, trust me, don't haggle too long. It'll end up biting you in the butt. Here's a tip that a lot of people don't get until later on when they sort of accidentally stumble across it. Hey, look at that. I've got a level 3 potion. That's fantastic. So we come over here and we burn it like this, and hey, terrific. We've got a potion of light. This is fantastic. But what about this extra path over here? Is this just wasted now? After all, if I were to save this recipe or finish this potion, well then, we're back to square one, right? Well, you don't necessarily have to end it there. By doing the bellows here, you have permanently imbued your potion with light. So if you wanted to, you could continue stirring and get more XP. As well, you can also use this ability to be able to continue on. For example, let's say I wanted to go ahead and push this back a little bit, and I wanted to add fire right here to my potion. Well, I can do that too. Let's go ahead and I'm just going to do this rough here, and I'm going to come over here and get that right there, and then put it in, and then come over here and grind that in there like that. And okay, so we can now continue on over here, and look at this. We have a level 1 fire, and in order to add fire to our potion, we simply use the bellows again, and bingo. We now have a strong potion of fire and light. Now, of course, it's only going to give me the 1 fire because that's all I lined it up for, but we still have our 3 light strength on this potion. And then we can finish this potion and it will complete. Now, what if I wanted to get a 3rd? Well, you absolutely can. If I wanted to, I could, put this direction, and I could go down here, and I could do the same thing and come down here and get the 3rd. You don't necessarily have to dilute. All I'm doing is I'm diluting it so that I can get lined up for moving on to the next person, and next icon, and I could come over here, put some more terraria over here, and maybe get a poison. But that is how you get multiple effects on your potion, and that is also how you can kind of get some extra free experience by going past your initial marker. A lot of people don't recognize that they're able to do that. They just kind of go straight to the marker itself, and they get the effect, and they kind of think, oh, well, I've got it. No need to move on beyond that. Well, that is possible, and it's some free XP. Your talent points are a very important part of this game, and in the early game, where you put your talent points is going to really affect how you play this game. Now, in my personal opinion, I think probably the first several points that you make should be evenly distributed between the recipe book and the alchemy visibility radius. Now, why do I say that? If you look over in your map here, your visibility radius means that when you go a particular direction, you're going to be revealing more of the map. And in the early game, being able to reveal the map is really, really important. You need to be able to know what's out here so that you can go to the effects as efficiently as possible. Granted, you do have a garden full of ingredients, and these are all free, and it's wonderful like that. But at some point, you're going to realize that your garden simply doesn't give you enough, and there's going to be potion ingredient sellers that are going to come up here, and you're absolutely going to need to purchase potion ingredients in order to travel around the map. It's just going to be a requirement. You're going to hit that point, and you're just going to say, man, I need to buy potion ingredients. I have no choice. And so you need to be able to make it as efficient as possible to be able to explore the area and see as much of the map as possible. You're going to want to increase your map visibility fairly quickly. At least be able to get these cost 1 map visibility points open as quickly as you can. So I'm just going to go ahead and click, and I could do one more, but before I do, the second thing you want to prioritize is the recipe book. Because this increases the number of saved recipes that you have by 2 for every point that you get. And being able to save your recipes is very, very important. Because if you're able to, for example, if you can find a very efficient recipe to be able to create strong potions, not only will it save you time, but it'll also be able to save you potion ingredients. Like, for example, let's say we've got a potion over here, and we've got this frost potion. I need to go and get this frost potion here. So if I go over to my frost potion, I have it down to 3 water blooms and 1 of the terraria. But what if, while I was exploring around, it took me like, oh my gosh, it took me like 5 water blooms and 3 terraria. I mean, that's an exaggeration, but what if it did? Well, clearly I don't want to save that recipe. I want to be able to get the most efficient recipe as possible, so I make the most efficient recipe I can in order to get the best potion that I can. And you always want to go for strong. There are 3 different levels of potion. There's the weak, the normal, and the strong. You always want strong because that gives you the biggest value. And so the reason I say we want to have your recipe books is because if you can get that really efficient path with the fewest ingredients, that's going to save you a lot of money in the long run, because there's going to come a point where you're just going to want to, you don't want to have to go through this path for every single person that comes here. So you're going to want to be able to just open up your recipe book, brew this potion, and you immediately have a potion. And having more recipe slots is going to be very valuable for you. I would suggest that at least get to 10, and honestly, I would go to 14. As of the game right now, there are, I believe, a total of 24 potion effects, and you could probably just get away with just going down to 14 and be able to get most of your local effects fairly quickly. Now, you may notice that I'm kind of not really paying much attention to the trading and the haggling. Now, I personally don't like haggling. I don't feel that the points are worth the amount of money you get. Not to mention that getting additional skills in haggling do not make haggling easier. All it does is increase the amount of value you get. So with one, with 1 point, you get a 5% more of the original price. Well, okay, but with 1 point of trading, you also get 5% more profitability, and you don't have to worry about potentially losing money if you mess up. So is it better to be able to get more in trading? If you ask me, yeah. You would be better off putting points into trading and getting that up as much as you can, and then maybe saving the last couple of single point talents for haggling, and that way you could potentially still make more money, even though it's a risk. You want your guaranteed money, not your risky money. Risky money can come later once you're a lot more established, but in the early game, you don't want to risk your profits. You want to guarantee your profits. Let's get into some nitty-gritty details on how to be able to navigate the potion map here. Now, as you can see, my current path, I'm trying to get over here to make a strong potion of light here. But as you can see, I've kind of put myself in a bit of a pickle here. If I were to continue going along this path here, well, if I keep going in there, oh boy, if I keep going, I'm going to end up getting into this danger area. Now, as you can see over here, the potion bottle, it's kind of going down a little bit. If you keep going, as you can see, it's going down and down. Oh boy, I'm in serious trouble here. If I go too far into this, I could end up losing this potion right now. Well, I don't want to do that. How can I save myself? Well, right here is the center of your map. And by using your dilution potion right here, you can actually pull yourself out of danger. Now, as you can see, it doesn't go away and as long as you're in there, even moving that little bit will still lower your potion bottle. So take care not to get into there if you can help it. You always want to try to avoid this area as much as possible. So let's just go ahead and get up here, and this will allow me to get into my potion here. And you know what? I'm going to show you something else while we're here. So let me go ahead and get over here. And I'm going to throw this in here, and I want to just come over here real quick, and I'm going to make my potion of light here. Just make sure. I'm just going to go... Oh boy, look what I did. I made a mistake. Ah, man, what am I going to do now? I've blown it. Well, no, I haven't. What I can do, as you can see, it's going to zigzag back over to here again. So what I can do is simply go back over to here and line myself up again. Now, I've had people ask me, how the heck do I get level 3 potions? It seems like it never wants to line itself up perfectly. And admittedly, this game is a lot about finesse and making small adjustments in order to get yourself that perfect potion. So as you can see right now, I've kind of created, I'm going to go over here and try to create this potion of light, and I've kind of created myself a path to be able to get me to here, but well, how do I get myself over to here in the best way possible to be able to get that that perfect setup? Well, if I come over here and I were to use a red mushroom, we could potentially put ourselves up over here and behind it. And that's actually very good. Not only would it allow us to move this direction, but we could, but it's behind it, and we can use our our diluter here to be able to push us closer towards the middle. Now, if I wanted to, I could do the same thing with the fire bell. As you can see, the path puts it just barely over the middle point of the potion effect. You want to get in the dead center. So I could kind of give myself a little bit of leeway here with the fire bell, or I could give myself a lot of leeway with the red mushroom. Now, for the purposes of this, I'm going to go ahead and use the red mushroom. So let's go ahead and take ourselves down this way. And now as we get closer, I'm just going to center myself a little bit here. We are looking for, now if you put your hand over the handle here, you can see an arrow pop up, and that's the direction you will be diluting towards. So you're going to want to move yourself so that you're slightly behind it, but you need to be kind of careful here, because you want to, you're going to be moving yourself, but you see you're also moving the path. So you're going to move yourself a little bit and move towards the center. Move a little bit, just a tad amount, and dilute a little bit more. Do you see where I'm going with this? You see how I'm making just small adjustments? This is a very delicate game. You want very tiny movements. And that's how you're able to make those very small adjustments in order to get that perfect level 3. And boom. There you go. Level 3 is the highest level of potion you can get as it currently stands in the game as of the demo. That may change in the future, but right now that is the highest level that you can get. I'll go ahead and pump that right there, and hey, what do you know? We've got a strong potion of light. But that is how you manage to get to the level 3 potions. Now you might be asking yourself, what in the heck is this little spirally thing here? Does this have a point? Well, actually it does, and they are located here and there across the map. Some are smaller, some are larger, but they all pretty much serve the same purpose, and I'm going to show you that now. So what you're going to do is we're going to go ahead and move ourselves within the within this little swirly thing here, and let's go ahead and slowly move ourselves up. Now, if you notice, it's kind of muted right now. Keep looking at it. Get a little closer, and it gets darker. You know now that you are within the radius for this particular, well, I guess for lack of better word, we call it a maelstrom. But it's the swirly thing. And you might be asking yourself, well, okay, I'm within the swirly. What does this do? Well, what you do is you come over here to the bellows, and as long as you are depressing this, you see what it's doing? It's slowly moving itself in a clockwise rotation. And as long as you are heating it, it will continue to rotate in that clockwise position. Now, as well as going in a circle, because this will go in a complete 360 degrees, but as well as going in a circle, it is also moving closer in towards the center, because this is like a whirlpool. So what you're basically doing is you don't have to use up any of these ingredients in order to move your potion bottle a little bit further along. And you could keep on moving this thing around. As you can see, yep, it's still going. We're just going to keep on heating it up, and oh well, there we are. And if you can see over here, it's bubbling. It's still swirling. So even though we got this thing nice and hot, you know, it's going to keep on swirling until the bubbling goes away, and then it stops. This basically just allows you to be able to do a little specific positioning, get yourself a little free movement without it having to cost materials, and it also kind of allows you to position your potion bottle a little bit more advantageously. Like, for example, here we go. Since I was over here originally, maybe I was trying to get over here to this lightning bolt, and I could have just tipped onto here, heated this thing up, put myself right up here, and then I'd be in a great position to be able to do a fire bell or some other straight shot there. So it's just a repositioning tool that you can use or ignore. It's completely up to you. One of the biggest things about running a shop is your reputation, and that is put right here. As you can see, I currently have an excellent reputation, and as you see, the bonus for that is that I can charge my potions 20% more. I'm able to haggle with people, and generally speaking, people are in a good mood. They're not gonna mess with me. They're not going to try to give me a bad deal. They're generally going to be friendly people. So it is possible to ruin your reputation, and part of that, of ruining your reputation, is not selling to people. Like, for example, if I were to if this person were, for example, a typical person, if I were to just say, whoops, I don't have any potions for you and I can't help you, I'm sorry, I would end the dialogue and I would take a 3-point hit to my reputation because I had to turn her away. However, there are exceptions to this rule. And one of those exceptions are the criminal element, and those are the people who are like, say, for example, one criminal is a woman who says, I've caught my man cheating and I want to burn him. I want to, destroy him and his lover in fire. I want a fire potion. Well, basically what they're saying is that they want to murder somebody, and they're going to use your potions to murder them. Well, you can still sell to them. And in general, whatever you sell to them is going to be worth roughly double what you would normally get. For example, my strong potion here, that would normally sell for roughly about 40 or so at my current level. I mean, I have some points in trading, so I'm able to get a little bit higher price. But normally I'd sell a strong potion of poisoning for roughly about 40 or so. But because she is a criminal element, I could sell it for double. However, if I sell her the criminal element or witches, if I sell it to them, I take a hit on my reputation, and depending on how powerful the potion is and how bad they are, that hit to your reputation could be anywhere from -10 to -20. And your reputation makes a big deal, because if your reputation gets down too low, not only do you start your potions start to be worth less, it goes to like 10%, then your potions are normal, then your potions lose value, and then haggling goes away once it starts getting too bad. You can actually get to the point where you no longer get any customers at all, and at that point you've basically lost your game. Because you're no longer able to make any profit, because you don't have a way of making profit. You have no customers. So your reputation makes a big difference in this game, and you want to keep it high. However, having said that, if you already have a stellar reputation, then, like, for example, I have excellent, it is possible to get flawless, which is 100 out of 100, and then potions cost 30% more. I could potentially sell to this person, take a bit of a hit to my reputation, and be able to get some extra profit. Is it worth it? I don't know. Maybe it is, maybe it's not. Maybe I need to improve my gold. My gold's kind of low right now, but my ingredients are doing okay. I don't know. Do I want to keep my stellar reputation, or do I want to take a rep hit and maybe get a little bonus profit for it? The way you go about this is completely up to you. It's your game, and whatever choice you want to make is completely yours. And speaking of the criminal element, here is a perfect example. The neighbor's livestock is eating his vegetables. He's tired of chasing sheep and goats. He wants to spice up the vegetables so that the neighbor has fewer livestock. So basically what he's saying is that he wants to kill his neighbor's livestock in order to not be so inconvenienced. So again, if I were to for example, if I were to come over here and brew him this nice little poison over here, and I were to do this, and, well, bam, look at that, holy cow. I'm selling this for twice the amount. The reason I say this is because, the last poison I sold was 62 because my reputation is flawless, and because it's a strong potion, and because I have some points in trading. So he's willing to do double the amount. Holy cow, this could be amazing. Except that if I do, I'll take a hit to my reputation. I'm currently making a lot of money with my reputation. Do I want to do this? Well, okay, just for the purposes of showing you what I'm talking about here I have 100. Bam. I just took a 15-point hit. It's going to take me 5 sales to be able to get that back. Is that worth it for double the cost? For me, not really. Maybe for you, sure. Maybe you want to play that underhanded dealer, and that's okay. Hey, like I said, you play your game as you were. Whatever you want to do. But just so you know, that's what you have to look forward to. I do need to add a caveat to what I just said. Now, witches in particular, just because they're a witch, that doesn't necessarily mean they're criminal element. So you should know that if the witch is simply buying your potion and doesn't say that she's using it for nefarious reasons, it's okay. You won't get a hit on your reputation. So just dealing with witches in general, not a big deal. But if that witch were to say, I intend to poison somebody, I intend to kill people or whatever, that definitely will cause a reputation hit. So intention is everything in this game. And in any case, guys, that's going to do it for this particular tips and tricks video. I hope you all enjoyed it. If you did, please do the liking, the subscribing, the commenting down below. Please check me out on my Discord, on my Patreon, and on my Twitch channel, where I stream as often as I can. You guys are fantastic, and I truly appreciate every single one of you. Thank you so much for watching. And as always, everyone, always remember that anyone can be a mouse that roars, but it takes someone special to be a lion that squeaks. So embrace your inner lion and squeak on, and go make some potions. There seems to be some money in this.